The Super Mario Bros. Movie has been a mega success so far. Audiences love it, people are going to the theaters in droves to see it, and it doesn't appear to be slowing down since the movie is on track to hit $1 billion. But even better news is that it is now the biggest video game adaptation ever. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and to the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So, starting off with this gamer article, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is now the biggest video game adaptation ever, and we all had this feeling that this movie was going to be very successful, and it definitely is. It says, after smashing box office records for most successful animated movie in its opening weekend, which was already insane, this news will come as a little surprise to anyone who's been to see the Super Mario Bros. Movie over the past few days. It's now been confirmed that the title has managed to earn over $500 million in its first week in cinemas, surpassing both Warcraft and Pokemon Detective Pikachu to become the biggest video game adaptation ever made. First revealed by Variety, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is currently sat at $260.3 million in earnings domestically and $248.4 million internationally, which adds up to a grand total of $508.7 million, and it's actually higher than this now. According to Discussing Films, the Super Mario Bros. Movie has now surpassed 600 million worldwide, and it is on track to hit $1 billion at the box office, which is great to hear, right? I love when things are successful. I want movies, TV shows, entertainment in general to be good. I am sick and tired of seeing, movies and shows and also video games release and just be massive disappointments, for them to be so hyped up and yet to dislike them so much. But this is doing really great, and for good reason. It is a really solid movie. It's not a 10 out of 10, but to me, I would rate it like an 8.5. It was really fun. It says, before that, it was Warcraft that held the honor with 439 million, closely followed by Detective Pikachu at 433 million. Now, bringing up the list of highest grossing films based on video games, we could go through a few. The first one, now, of course, Super Mario Brothers. And this one actually says 677 million worldwide gross, so it's right around there, regardless. Number one, absolutely great to see. Number two was Warcraft. The only reason why this movie is number two is because they put an insane amount of money towards marketing this film, because the film itself wasn't even all that good. As you can see on IMDb, it's rated a 6.7 out of 10, so really, in my opinion, it's not even that close to, surpassing something like Super Mario Brothers, but people liked this movie, they just didn't love it. Number 3 on the list is Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Can't really say I'm all that surprised. This movie was really hyped up and people did enjoy it. And then you get into things like Rampage. This was a movie that also doesn't have great user scores. It's sitting at like a 6 out of 10 on IMDb. The only reason why I really saw it being successful was it was a okay film, but it also had The Rock in it, so it had a lot of marketing behind it. And then you get into things like Sonic the Hedgehog, which, though both of those movies are fantastic in my opinion. Also Uncharted, which wasn't the worst, it also wasn't the best, but nothing that, in my opinion, comes that close to the Super Mario Brothers movie, except for Detective Pikachu and then Sonic the Hedgehog. So going back to the original article, it said not only has the movie dominated the video game adaptation charts, but the box office for 2023 as a whole. Granted, we've not had that many blockbuster title releases this year so far, but the movie has done so well to surpass the likes of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania to become the year's highest grossing movie so far. It'll probably lose its place once big hitters like The Little Mermaid and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse hit cinemas, but Nintendo and Illumination can enjoy basking in the success for the time being. I don't know if The Little Mermaid is going to surpass Super Mario Brothers. I think that they want it to. Disney wants all of their content to be successful, but this movie is moving, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. Even if you haven't seen it yet, you didn't need to be Sherlock Holmes to see this one coming. Mario is arguably Nintendo's biggest and most beloved property next to Pokemon, and those that went to see it as soon as it hit cinemas loved it despite middling reviews. The user scores have been almost perfect the whole time. What they're referring to is the critic reviews, because the critics did not like this film simply because they just do not understand Mario and they don't really care about it. I mean, they rated it like a 45%, which in no world does Mario deserve that low of a score. Now, funny enough, I actually saw this other article that raises the question, what other games will be next in line for Hollywood to adapt? And the journalist is clearly joking around a bit here, but he basically is afraid of a U-Bowl curse starting where we get awful movies being made. Of course, he did many video game adaptations, and here's just a small list of them. We can't go through them all, but he has done ones like House of the Dead, Alone in the Dark, Blood Rain 2, Blood Rain 3, In the Name of the King, Postal, Far Cry, so he definitely has a big background of failed movies, I will call them, because none of them are really all that highly rated. And of course, another person that has done a lot of video game adaptations is Paul W.S. Anderson, since he's done the Monster Hunter films, Resident Evil ones, and those are much more positively received, but at the same time, they weren't like 9 or 10 out of 10s, but he's got a much better reputation than Bull because Paul has done some really good movies like Alien vs. Predator and Event Horizon. Ultimately, I'm pretty happy to see the success of the Super Mario Brothers movie, and we all figured that it was going to play out this way, but it is on track to hit $1 billion at the box office, and now it is the biggest video game adaptation ever. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.